Hi, it's Jerry with I Love RV Life. Today I'm going to share 6 items with you if you've just bought a new RV or you still have that bone stock RV that's sitting out in the driveway that you haven't done anything to it yet. This is going to make RV travel so much more enjoyable. Hi, it's Jerry. If you've been watching our videos for any time, you saw us travel miles and miles and miles in our Heartland Gateway and we loved it. But after all those miles, we decided it was time to buy a new fifth wheel, and we got the Montana, and we just absolutely love this thing. But even with a brand new RV, or that RV that's maybe been sitting in the driveway for a little while that's still bone stock, there's some things you may want to consider. Part of it is for convenience, part of it's for comfort. Maybe some of it is just an entertainment value that you might want to consider to make your RV travel more enjoyable. So let's start with number 1. This one has to deal with comfort. Let's start in the RV bedroom. Well, if you have just bought a new RV or you've had one for a little while and you still have that stock mattress that came with the RV, you're going to go, Jerry, I know where you're coming from. I feel your pain. And that pain is those mattresses are like, the nicest way I can put it, cloth-covered concrete. They're just awful. They're terrible. And that's in the largest percentage of the RVs that you purchase today. The mattresses are just terrible, terrible. Well, Joan and I tried everything. We put in pillow toppers, and then we didn't like that. We put a gel topper. We didn't like that. And then we tried foam, those foam things that you add, and it just made bad, not even better. It was just, we were never comfortable with that. And then we found rvmattress.com by Brooklyn Bedding. And it was, I say this a lot, it was a game changer. It made RV travel such a joy because we wanted a good night's sleep. This is a signature series. The comfort is just absolutely amazing, just absolutely amazing. Regardless of whether you're a back sleeper or you're a side sleeper like Joan and I, or stomach sleepers, you can go to rvmattress.com. There are selections that you make on the type of sleep that you have and the type of mattress you want, and even a chat function. If you're not sure, you can chat with them and they'll come back with you and you can go, I sleep like this, or I have this type of RV, and this is what I want to be able to have for my RV to make my sleep comfort much better. They're so helpful. They're amazing mattresses. You go to the website, you pick out the size that you want, and look, there's dozens of different sizes of mattresses that you can find inside of an RV, and I think they've got them all covered. Simply click on the size that you want. Bang, you can go ahead and make your order, and when that order comes in just a couple weeks, comes in a small box. It is so simple to install. You just take it out of the cardboard box, spread it out on the platform, carefully take it out of its plastic. Within minutes, the mattress expands to full size. No off-gassing. It's wonderful, it's comfortable, it's easy, and it's ready to sleep on that night. There's 4 different types of mattresses to consider from Brooklyn Bedding. They're all foam, all the way up to their hybrid series. Joan and I have the signature hybrid. We just absolutely love it. But the benefits don't just stop there alone with ease of installation. They have a 120-night no-risk sleep trial. I find that amazing. And then a 10-year warranty on top of that. All the mattresses are made in the United States and shipped directly to your door, free. Well, if you would like to get your own Brooklyn Bedding mattress, then go to rvmattress.com/I Love RV Life. Select your mattress, select your size, the comfort level that you want, and then at checkout, enter the code I Love RV Life to get 20% off your purchase. Well, I'd like to thank RV Mattress by Brooklyn Bedding for sponsoring today's video. These mattresses by Brooklyn Bedding, wow, they're amazing. This is by Camco. This is referred to as a RV screen door crossbar. Now, depending on the model of RV you have, you may have one of these already installed on your screen door. On some of the higher end models, you'll see them come with this, like your your expensive Montanas and big countries and things like that. But for most of the RVs out there, you do not find this. We installed this on our previous fifth wheel. It's very handy. Why do you want to use this? One, it makes it easier to open and close the screen door. I know, oh Jerry, you're lazy. No, I just want convenience. Second thing, it will give a little stability for people who have mobility issues and helps them with their balance as they come up the steps. Now, you're not going to be able to put your full weight pulling on this on your screen door because those screen doors are thin aluminum. But as somebody uses the handle on the left-hand side, you know, to go up the steps, they can kind of brace themselves with the screen door, again, just to help them with their balance. And it's very handy for, you know, folks who, again, have some mobility issues. Super simple to install. A few basic things just to make sure you don't mess up. Let me show you how to put it on. I've measured my door and found it to be 27 inches wide. So this completely pushed in is only a 21 1/4. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to come here with a marker. I'm going to find my halfway point, which is 20 1/2. So half of 27 is a 13 1/2. So I will come here. And what you don't want to do is have, if you'll notice this piece right here, you don't want to have one just barely like this and it causes the wobble. You want to make sure you try to even this up as much as possible. So I'm going to come here to 13 1/2. Now you can use a nail, you can use any type of thing. I have a little punch here that will kind of give me a center here, just so that the tool doesn't wander. And make sure you use a bit that's a little bit smaller than the threads. I like using a screwdriver versus a drill to put these screws in. This is soft aluminum. If you get too carried away, just overdoing it ever so small amount, you will strip everything out. So just be, you know, careful and tighten this down to finger tight is where you want it. Put a little blue tape here on both sides just to make it a little easier to mark. It's hard to see the spots that you mark. Of course, that's going to come off. And I'm only going to mark 2 holes, just 2. And you want to go right over this bar right here. Is where you want to do it. Make sure you get it straight. And make sure it's flush to the edge here. And then I'm just going to mark the top one, and then the bottom one, and then the top one, and then the bottom one. Okay, now we're going to drill some holes. And again, I'm going to use this little set tool. You can buy these at Harbor Freight or Amazon or wherever. I'll put it right here in the center of the hole. Do that once, maybe twice. You can use a nail, but these are like $3 at Harbor Freight. If you haven't seen one, that's what it looks like, spring-loaded. And just take your time and be careful. All right. And when you drill this, make sure you don't drill all the way through. I mean, it won't hurt anything if you do, but like inside this one, it has a little metal rib inside. So for the screws to go all the way through, I'm gonna have to drill just a little bit further than just poking through this little face right here. All right, pull your tape off. It has done its job. Okay, let's see if I can do this right-handed. Take your time so you don't strip these screws out. There we go. I'm going to leave that just a little loose till I get the other one done. And just nice and snug. That's all you want. Nice and snug. more there. Nice and snug. There we go. Let's put the other two in. And one more. All right, there we have it, nice and tight. So again, here's the convenience. You go to open and close the door. Sometimes when the door's all the way out here, you have to reach all the way out there. You know, okay, so that's not an inconvenience, but I can just grab the handle. And again, this is not something to be, you know, doing chin-ups on, but here's where it's also helpful. So again, if somebody has mobility issues, they can grab their handle, and then, you know, again, it just gives just that little bit of extra support. Again, you can't pull heavy down on this like you can this big heavy bar outside, but it's just one of those little helpful things. Look, 15, 16 bucks. I'll leave a link in the notes so you can find this thing. Handy. The Montana comes with what they call a friction hinge for the door, and I've gotten so many comments since we bought ours. What are you doing about your door opening and closing? It won't stay closed. And you're right, it doesn't stay closed. The friction hinge, here I'll show you. When you open and close this door, it does have friction to it. And under normal, you know, use, just like this, like today, it's, you know, a light breezy day today, not a whole lot to it. It'll stay open. You know, if the weather's pretty, we're going to have the screen door open and get some nice fresh air in. That's one of the things we enjoy most. But this door, every time the wind catches it right here, you'll find it like this, or it'll slam it shut. So, you know, what is a fix for it? Well, since it is a friction hinge, it doesn't take much to keep. As a matter of fact, the wind just picked up. When you have that friction hinge, it doesn't take much to keep it closed. So here's a simple, easy fix. It only costs a couple dollars. These magnetic latches come in pairs, and they're pretty stout. I think I paid for two of these, I think under $8 off Amazon, and I'll put a link in the description below where you can get these. You see them all over the camper. Here's an example. Here we have we have a set right here that a matching set right here that we have on the camper. So I'll show you how easy. These things are just super easy to install. Like I said, these are, I think, under $8 for a pair. And you'll need some small screws. They don't come with screws. I think this is like a number 6 or number 8 small screw, and you can buy these again off Amazon. I'll provide a link for those if I can find where I bought these a while back. I bought like 100 of them because I'm using them all the time. Or you can buy them at the your local big box store. But I like to use the black ones with the the enameled finish, so you don't see a bunch of rust, and kind of matches this. Super easy, but there is a little trick here to putting these things on to make sure it's straight. And it's going to give you good service. So let me show you what I'm going to do. What I'm going to do is use some of this blue painter's tape. It's your friend. I'm not too worried about putting it on so straight or anything like that, but here's the trick. I'm just going to put this thing right here on the corner. This way I can mark it, and I know it's going to be okay. I'm going to pre-drill my holes and just so I can mark on the outside here. I don't have to worry about things sliding off. Then I can just peel this right off. So that's the easy part. I'm going to pre-drill my holes. So once I drill it, I'm going to take this tape off. Now I got my little hole, see it's nice and clean. I didn't tear anything up. Now some people, this is going to be controversial. I am going to use Gorilla Glue. Yeah, I know some people use like silicone and things like that. I'm going to put just a little dab on each screw threads, and it'll kind of seal that up and keep it from leaking. It'll also keep these things from backing out. So I know not everybody wants to do things like that, but I've had good success doing it. So just a little bit of Gorilla Glue. No big deal. So just a little bit around the threads. A little bit goes a long way. Just going to fill the threads up. And I'm just going to ever so gently tighten this thing. Just get it started. Alright. Put a little glue on this one. I'm not gluing the magnet here. I'm just putting a little bit around the threads here. Not a whole lot. A little bit goes a long way. Like I said, you can use silicone, you can use a whole bunch of different stuff, but I like using this. Now here's the trick. If you got one of these drills that you can set the clutch on or just barely snug it up, doesn't take much. Hold that in place. You don't want to over tighten. This stuff will split. All right, let me show you now I've got to put its mate over here. It is perfectly match it up the way I want it. Again, I'm going to get me some painter's tape. Let's see about where this needs to go. And I'm going to mount mine right here at the top of this. I don't want to drill into this. Again, it's just a Jerry preference. Okay, I need to be right about there. This will be the thick part of that. And then mark my edge here where it needs to go. Put a few starter holes in it. Be the first one. This will be the second one. Now I'm not going to bother gluing this since this is just a aluminum here. And again, I'm up at the tough part. I think this is going to be fine. There you go. Now we'll see. I've got a second one, and we'll see if I need two. Right now I'm thinking one may be enough, but if I have to mount a second one, I'll do it, somewhere up in here. But right now I don't think I'm going to have to do that. I think that'll be enough. And if you notice, oh, you put it in the aluminum there, Jerry, that's a big problem. You can notice there's not enough pull on here to mess it up. But we're going to see if this is going to work. Is it going to handle 50-mile-an-hour winds? I don't think so. But I think it just needs a little bit here to help hold it in place. We'll put another one on there if we think we need it. Here's another tip you should think about especially when you buy a new RV or if you've had one for a while, and that is protecting the outlet for your furnace. Regardless of the type of furnace you have, you're going to have some outlet on one side of your RV. And this is very, very large. It is so large you can get small mice in it. You're definitely going to get wasp building nests in here in the spring and the summer and early fall before you start using this, and you can get the dreaded mud daubers. Now, if you get those nests built inside here, this is going to stop your furnace from working properly, and it is going to be a mess, and it could even be a fire hazard. It's cheap, just a couple dollars. You can buy these little screens. They make one that goes all the way over. This is metal, and some of these you don't have this metal finish here. I like using this little small round one. It fits really, really easy. It has a spring that you use and a little tool. It's a little trick to get these things on. It's not too bad, but you just kind of hook the spring in here. It's kind of hard for me to show you up close. Let me get this thing in. It doesn't take much to hold these in place. You just put that spring through there in the little tool and take this and just snap him on just like so. And that's not going anywhere. That guy will stay in place. I know it looks a little wobbly, but he'll stay in place and keep critters from getting inside this unit. So here's another item that I'd like to share with you. If you have either a new or existing unit that you might want to change the way that window is on your door, let me show what we have on our new Montana. I've got a video of where we replaced this on our old gateway. We actually had our window fail, and when the glass fell out of it, it was a big mess, and I replaced it with something called a thin shade. Well, our new Montana came with something called a thin shade rated window. Now, why they didn't go ahead and put the shade in it, I just don't know. But we are going to try to fix that today. I have found the shade that goes inside this. I read the instructions. It looks like it's going to be one of these 1, 2, 3 jobs. Doesn't look big compared to if you're changing out the entire window. Again, as we did, and I have that video that I showed you that you can go to. It's not a big deal. That one's pretty easy. This one looks like a couple latches and you snap the thing in. This is what it looks like. There's not a whole lot to it. Now, I'll share this. They're 35 bucks. I bought it off Amazon. It says that it's the LCI replacement or addition to these thin shade ready doors. Why they didn't do this at the factory again, I just don't know. I don't know. Should have done it. But 35 bucks, and somebody's going to say, gee, isn't that about a $10 part? Well, it looks like a $10 part, but compared to like buying shades that you would at one of the big box stores where they make, 100,000 of those things, these little things, I doubt they make that many. So I'm sure that's the price point that you're paying. At least that's my justification for it. But it doesn't matter. It needs to be done. Look, it makes a huge difference. When you are parked in an area and that sun is boiling through those windows, it's nice to be able to pull the shade down. And I like to pull it down for privacy at night. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and address this comment because I know it's coming. Jerry, you have to open up the door to open and close the shade. I know. It's no big deal. It's no big deal. I mean, the door opens and the screen door opens to the outside. So yes, you have to reach up and pull the shade down or pull it up when you don't want it. It's okay. It's not a big deal. And, when we come in for the night and we're done, we pull the shade down. And if it's a pretty day, we push the shade up. It's okay. So let's see what it's going to take to put this in. I don't think it's going to be a big deal. Okay, on these thin shade ready doors, I'm going to leave that sticker on for just another minute. You throw these little latches here, left to right, right to left at the top, okay? And then those are going to latch this device in, so they say. Okay, it doesn't look like it's going to be a whole lot to this. Let's see if this is a 1-minute install. I think the trick, if I remember on my other shade, is to make sure you have no slack in here. You want to make sure this is up good and tight, or the shade will be crooked. Kind of goes in at an angle, and then make sure you push it all the way up. That's the trick with these. If you don't push it all the way up with your finger, it won't latch. I think that latch, I think I felt it. Put my finger here. Felt it latch again. Give it just a little tug. There we go. Same thing with this. That's going to fall until we get some tension on it. Put your strings on the inside. And then those slots have to be down below. There we go. Push that all the way down. Latch it. And latch it. There we go. One thin shade ready. Slide. Perfect. Take that off now. Yuck. Get the glue off. All right. There you go. How about that? Easy breezy. As we set up our new Montana, there's, maintenance items that we've done, just the little this and that's, just to kind of protect the Montana going forward. A couple convenience items like the slide, but I've got a convenience item. I know this isn't going to be for everyone, but I do want to show this to you. This is our entertainment setup. And it's just a very inexpensive Connex TV. This came with a fifth wheel. We hadn't changed it out, but you'll notice something down here that did not come with the fifth wheel, and it's going to be hard to make out the label there. That is a Roku Sound Bar. The Roku Sound Bar is definitely a splurge item. Definitely a splurge item. We do watch some internet TV. If we can get a good internet signal on our hotspot, whether we're using like an AT&T hotspot or we're using our MoFi 4500, if you haven't seen those videos, I will have a playlist at the end called Entertainment, RV Entertainment, that you can watch at the end of this video that has 2 or 3 different things. One is, again, using our MoFi 4500, kind of a high-end product. And we also do satellite TV, but I'll explain the satellite TV quickly. We do have an X2 WineGuard dish and a Wally receiver. We don't use it that often because we have an unlimited hotspot plan and we can watch satellite, or we can watch internet TV as much as we want if we have a good signal. There are those times that I have to work a little bit. We may not have a strong enough signal. We're out in the boonies somewhere, but we can always get satellite TV. So sometimes we use that as well. But 9 times out of 10, we're going to be watching internet-based TV. This Roku is incredible. It's incredible. Reason I like the sound bar, it's all self-contained. You pull it out of a box, you plug it in, and there's so much free stuff on it, it's unbelievable. 250, 300 channels of free stuff that you can watch and never subscribe to anything. It's really quite amazing. If you like your Prime, your YouTube TV, Sling TV, oh gosh, Hulu, Netflix, Disney, Apple Plus, all that stuff, you can add those apps as well. And if you subscribe to those, you can watch it as well. Here's the trick that makes it better. It's not a must. If you have a TV that's at least 10 years old, it has something called an HDMI ARC port. And with that ARC port, you can control the TV in its entirety with one little remote. That's it. So when we're going to watch TV, whether we're watching internet TV or any of the apps, not the satellite TV, but if we're watching anything on the internet, we can all watch it through that sound bar. Now, first of all, this isn't sponsored by Roku. This is just cool, and I had to share it. Let me show you how it works. All right, we'll flip the channel on, and again, all I'm using is this one little remote. Let's give it a second just to boot up. Here it comes. And it's going to default to the HDMI 2 where my ARC port is, and you'll see, there it is, there's Roku. So we have Sling TV. You can select that. This is all going to be off of our hotspot that we're watching right now. We have a pretty good signal on the hotspot, so I don't think I'll have too much going on here. So if you've seen Sling, that's what it looks like. Guide, I don't know, just basic stuff. I don't know what this is. Let's see what this is. The sound isn't...
See, these guys are way more nervous getting into the corner with their hands than he was.
All right, you can get an idea. Let's see if we can find a movie here. Now, I have something called a Plex Server in our house, and I'm actually going to be accessing that from our camper all the way back to our home to our Plex Server. If Plex Server is something you think you would like, it is incredibly cool. It is a bit of an investment. It's where we store, we've got actually 2 different forms of entertainment that we use in the fifth wheel. I have a media server that we can just be away from everything, not attached to anything, no Wi-Fi, no nothing, and we've got, I don't know, 400, 500, 600 ripped DVDs on a little small server that is made out of a Pi 3. And here's a link to that. If you're interested in doing something like that, it's super cool. It's minutes to set up the server, hours to rip your DVDs, but that's a totally separate issue. But if you would like to explore Plex Server, and when you see what this does, some of you are going to want to do it. Few little technical steps. It's not for the uninitiated. It does take a little bit of work, but you can have a server. Server can be an old PC, or it can be a Synology server box like I have, no problem whatsoever. And you're going to be amazed at what it'll do. Just leave me notes in the comment and say, Jerry, we're interested in setting up a Plex server. Could you show us your setup? And I'll create another video in the future and show you what that thing is. But let me show you how that works. All right, so you see the app. App is free. And there's so much on this Plex that you can do even without a server. It's really kind of quite amazing. And let's go to our movies. This is actually coming out of our server at home, so I'm going out through our Wi-Fi connection, and through the cellular network back to our home. And here's where our movies are at. And these are all ripped DVDs. Let's play a trailer. I think I can get away with a trailer without getting something caught with the copyright. So here's Casino Royale with James Bond. And here you'll be able to hear the sound bar.
Your file shows no kills, Bond. But to become a 00, it takes 2. How did you die? No contact? Not well. You needn't worry. The second is... yes. Considerably.
Okay, I apologize for the gratuitous violence, but I wanted you to hear the sound bar. If you're a NASCAR fan listening to the races, oh my gosh, is it amazing. If you're into music, like Joan loves the sound of music, yeah, I like it too. Oh my goodness, it just fills the room up with just beautiful music as Julie Andrews and the kids are singing down the river. But it is really an amazing little device. Again, it's not sponsored. This one, they come on sale from time to time. I think they're like $129. There's a Pro model. This is not the Pro model. This is just a standard Roku Sound Bar. They range, not on sale for $129. My daughter saw it on sale and bought one for her home for $99. I think I got this one on a Good Friday or a Black Friday deal, and I think it was $79. So just kind of watch if you're interested in something to do like this. Look, you plug it into the wall. You plug it into your TV on the ARC channel if you have one, where you can just control everything from the remote. Turn it on, turn it off. It's beautiful. And set up your Wi-Fi connection and rock and roll. I hope you found these 6 tips helpful. Look, they're very, very simple to do. None of them were difficult whatsoever. And it makes RV travel more comfortable, protects your RV, as well as adds some entertainment value in there to make those RV trips so much more enjoyable. Again, I do this because I love doing these tips, but most of all, I love RV life.